Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers the question, why, when vehicles seeing us into the ground, wouldn't you just start running immediately? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we are reviewing HBO's The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 5, Endure and Survive.
Yeah. Shit, that was so good.
So your initial thoughts? Shit, that was so good?
Oh, man. That's you can put that on a quote and slap it somewhere.
That should be on the poster for The Last
It
of
should.
Us. Shit,
Yeah.
this is so good. Yeah, my initial thoughts were just like, I can't believe they went there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole final scene and everything was awesome. Well, that wasn't even the final scene, but the sort of the infestation scene, the huge set piece, that was cool and very sort of World War II feeling. But dude, that end, fucking hell! I was like up out of my seat, like, oh my god! I was shocked. I couldn't believe they did that.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny too, because it's like I saw that coming a mile away. It's like that's obviously how this is gonna end. But even then, it's still like, whoa, god damn it! And it's like, he's gonna turn that. He's gonna turn that. Oh my god, he did it! He turned it! Yeah.
Dude, that's brutal. Yeah. Just fucking brutal. So this one was directed by Jeremy Webb, written by Craig Mazin again. It aired, of course, on Friday, which fucked me up because I was thinking it was coming out today because I don't follow sports ball.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about sports. So
I was so excited that it was coming out on Friday, and I just watched it about 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
It was funny because Sean was like, yeah, Cameron even mentioned that it's coming out on Friday. I was like, what? When? She was like, when we were hanging out, I think. I was like, I was way too drunk for that. I don't remember anything.
Very, very, very drunk. So
I just remember being so drunk, I came up behind and gave you a hug. I was like, at least I didn't start crying on his shoulder. Like,
I mean, whatever.
There.
I think we're at a point where it just would have been like, oh no, that's just Adam being Adam. Like, I was confused because apparently, like, I some friends went out of town and got me some stuff that apparently I asked them to get me. I don't remember that at all. I was like, why would they be getting me that? And then it's like, oh, I said that? Oh, that was nice of them. Apparently someone was drunker than he thought he was.
Yeah, that whiskey hits you. It was good, though. Like, that bottle I brought over, it was Jefferson or something like that. Great bourbon.
Wonderful stuff.
So let's talk about this episode, because this, at first glance, I was just like, oh, we're just rehashing the last episode. Like, what's the fucking point of this?
Yeah.
But it was more.
Yeah, I was a little concerned because, like, I am totally fine with flashback episodes. That's fine. But when it's like one after the other, that gets a little repetitive, and that's where this seemed like it was going to go. And then just abrupt stop and into the present. Like, and it was short and sweet. It built enough of a backstory that we needed, and then just moved on. It was great.
Yeah, so like Henry and Sam are brothers, and Sam is deaf, and so they have to communicate through sign language, which is perfect in this world. And then he also has leukemia, which I didn't see any evidence of. Like, I don't know what the evidence would be, but it's just a weird thing to tack on as an excuse for why Henry killed, what's her name, Kathleen's brother, which that whole storyline felt so contrived, in my opinion. I was just like, why not just say he stole food from him, and then they got in a fight and he killed him? Like, why did it have to be leukemia? And then the kid looks totally healthy. Like, leukemia is cancer, right? Like, he looks totally healthy and fine.
Well, having lost, a lot of people to leukemia, sometimes you can't even tell.
Oh, really?
And then they're just gone. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, well, now I feel like shit.
Well, don't feel like shit. Be grateful you haven't lost anybody to leukemia.
Yeah. Fucking fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But just like, what's the treatment? What did he have? Like, fucking radiation pouches? Like, I don't understand what the fucking medication was.
Yeah, I didn't really go into detail on that, and it's like I understood what they were trying to get at, because that is a pretty big deal ticket item. And oh shit, I got caught stealing this. I should probably do something to get away with it. Like, you could have give up your homie over that shit. Like, it just fucking be like, you caught me, and just die. Like, why take out somebody else?
The thing is, you don't need that important of a story arc. Food is enough to kill and be killed over. Like
Yeah.
this, they were literally running out of it in this episode, and so it just felt like they were putting way too much on to then explain why Henry killed Kathleen's brother, and like you don't need that. Like just the world alone is enough. I mean,
Yeah.
fucking what's his goddamn name? Joel almost killed a dude running him over just to get away from an obvious trap. And my wife the whole time she was like, I would have just hit reverse. It's like, okay, well, you're a fucking hero, but that's not how this story is going to progress. You can't just back up out of trouble all the time.
That's how Shauna survives the apocalypse.
Yeah. She's like, I could just drive in reverse. Problem solved. Why didn't I think of that? Fuck. I'm here over here like cannibalizing, like eating human beings, and she's just like,
First day
I went to reverse.
It's like 20 minutes into the apocalypse. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to eat daughter.
That is normal, right? I figured that's where we'd go. I didn't know it'd be a strange thing. But I like the setup that they are in a desperate situation, Henry and Sam. They don't have options. They have to get out of town. And then watching this sort of, I don't know what the group is called, but this resistance group take out the Fedra people. Holy shit.
So there's an old punk rock song called Subvert City that's all it reminded me of. Like I could have turned off the sound, listened to that, and it would have been a music video for that song.
Brutal.
Where it's all about the underground resistance finally getting the upper hand, taking over, and then ultimately becoming what they meant to take out. All the while the next underground resistance is building up to take them out. And it's just a never-ending cycle of just death and destruction.
Damn. The whole time I'm watching, I'm like, is no one nice? like I could see myself killing people over food or protection or whatever, but like they were torturing people, like mutilating them and stuff. I can't justify that in my head. I mean, I'm not in their shoes, so I don't know what atrocities they suffered and stuff.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it open. I'm sort of game for anything almost,
Put
but
a pin on that.
it just seemed next level. You know, it reminded me of The Road. You know, that novel and film of Viggo Mortensen. Like they went from the world just shit the bed to we're full Mad Max in like a heartbeat. It seemed like it was just like, fuck, this got mean really quick. And we never saw any of that so far. You know, in like Joel's whole experience, it didn't seem like we saw any of that. So I'm sure they had some weird stuff happening when he was in his own insurgency before he joined up with Tess and stuff. But I don't know. It caught me by surprise, and I was just like shocked at the rawness of it all. But then we watch Henry, trying to survive. Of course, the doctor's helping them, and then we know the doctor from when Kathleen had been torturing him and then killed him. And then ultimately they're up in that little, sort of Jewish loft. It reminded me of World War II for some reason. And Frank's apartment. And they like realized, well, fuck, we got to get out of here. I loved the attention that was given to the kids' comic book appreciation and sort of almost, that's all he has really. It's comics and superheroes and his desire to live and be invulnerable in this sort of insanity world that he lives in. So it makes logical sense that he's like that, but kids are like that anyway. But then when his brother put the paint across his eyes, I just had like all these heart feels like surging into me. I was just like, oh, this is a loving family. I love this so much. This is so great. And in my head, I'm not thinking cut to 30 minutes later and it's going to be a travesty. I'm just like, they're going to live happily ever after, and they're going to meet up with Joel, and they're all going to hug and dance and skip. It's going to be awesome. No, didn't happen that way. I mean, for a little bit it did.
Yeah, it totally did. Well, and that was the beautiful thing is that moment when they finally get to the underground cavern, like they Very get cool. Right in the middle where there was survivors right after the outbreak and stuff. And just seeing Ellie and Sam be children. It's like that's why people keep going on in situations like this, because you get those moments of just, fuck, that's beautiful.
Absolutely. I love seeing every time Ellie gets just this glimmer of being outside of the world and just a kid. I think it's so beautiful because then it cuts to those really crazy, insane moments, and we appreciate the severity of them that much more because
Mhm.
we saw her in such an innocent state. And like even when they were like initially getting in the tunnel, he's like, "Get your gun out," and then she was like, grabbed it out of her pocket because he told her to put it in her backpack, and he was just like, fuck it, let's just go. Like, you're gonna do your thing, and we're gonna get through this." And she had this like, sort of grin, like, "I'm an adult," moment. And then it just cuts to the two kids playing, and it was just so beautiful seeing that, and then the soccer and the comics and the drawing and everything, and then the adult conversation between Henry and Joel. I really, really appreciated that moment because it gave
Mhm.
us that clarity of, first of all, Henry doesn't know shit about shit. Yes,
Mhm.
he's survived thus far, but because of other people.
Yeah, exactly.
He
He's a
killed
parasite.
someone, but it was out of necessity and desperation.
Mhm.
He's not a hardened man, arguably maybe a little too cold like Joel is.
Mhm.
And so, he just professes his need for Joel. And then he's like, "Look, you clearly are a father. You've got, like, he
Yeah,
can just see it." And
he
just
fucked up.
Joel was just like, he had nothing to say. Like, he's just like, "Yeah, okay, well, you got my number. That's fuck."
Like, well, fuck you. Let's go. You want to bring up that shit? You can fuck yourself.
Yeah. So I love that. Just the idea initially too, and they're like, "We have to use the tunnels." And Joel's like, "Are you out of your mind?" And he's like, "Well, they said there was only like 3 or 4." "Well, how long ago?" "A year ago." What? There's obviously more infected down there now. Like,
Right.
of course there's more. Like, how could there not be more? Even if we didn't see the scene of the sinking damn ground and know for a fact there were more, the immediate assumption is, yeah, that's the worst plan ever. We're going to die down there.
Yeah, exactly. That's where Fedra put everybody that was infected. There's probably a couple of stragglers down there, and you only need one to fucking ruin your day.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. And so we did such a beautiful job getting through the tunnels, not seeing any bad guys, and I was like, "Okay, when's the other shoe going to drop? It's got to drop. It's coming." And then we get that sort of World War II sniper from the bell tower moment.
Mhm.
And I loved that it was like, he's a shit shot. Like, he's terrible at this. Let me just go and take care of him. And that
Mhm.
moment when he's up at the top and he's like, "Don't do it. Don't make me do this. I don't want to fucking kill
Yeah.
you."
Like when
I
he says,
love that.
"Please don't do this," it's like,
Yes.
oh man, he's gonna do it, and Joel's gonna feel bad. He's an asshole.
Yeah. How dare he make a stupid choice? Like, if you're an old man and you're faced with death or a little bit longer living, I would choose life. Like, why not just give him the rifle and be like, "Look, they're coming, so you better get out of here."
Yeah, it's like, give me a good one right here,
Yeah.
and get the fuck out of here.
Like, problem solved. He saves face. You get away. No
Mhm.
problem. But then we wouldn't have had that huge set piece.
Yeah, and thank God we did.
So, right before we get onto that, can we talk about Kathleen a little bit? Because I'm having a hard time believing her.
That's funny because that's like pretty much the only shit that I've seen, like as far as like negative comments,
Oh, really?
has been her character not being believable. And it's like they set it up a little bit more in this episode how she got to where she was.
Yeah.
So it's nepotism that got her in the leadership role, pity as well, and then she just became a tyrant. So it's like I believe the character kind of, but at the same time it's like I don't know how much is baggage from previous characters she's played
That's it for me.
or what. And can I just say I didn't know she's a fucking Kiwi. Like
Oh,
that
yeah,
blew
me
my
too.
mind when she was talking in the end. I'm like, what is that thing coming out of her mouth? That's
Yeah.
not how she speaks. But yeah, it's like I don't know how much of it's that and how much of it's just like it's unrealistic in this dystopian future. Because the thing is, like, women in power, that's not out of the question. Like the
Yeah, that's not what I'm
thousands
talking
and
about.
thousands and thousands of years, that's how the world is ran. I mean, even not even thousands of years ago, just a couple hundred years ago, there's cultures that are matriarchal societies.
And we have
So
women in power positions right now around the country, around the globe. So it's
yeah,
not it's not
yeah,
an unheard
exactly.
of thing.
So it's not that insane, but it's like how tough actually is she?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like we kind of get it, we kind of don't. Like, oh yeah, she shot an old man that was chained up. Anybody could do that. Like, what
Yeah, I
else
mean,
has she done to get to that
it's
position?
definitely hardcore. I mean, we saw the Firefly leader in the encampment that we started in with Joel and Ellie. So women can definitely be as ruthless as men. Let's not kid ourselves. Arguably worse.
Oh,
If you've
yeah,
ever been in high school or
absolutely.
middle school, you know they're fucking worse. But like, it's the character for me. Like, not. No, I'm sorry, it's not the character. It's the actor. The character, I believe. You get single-minded. You lost a brother that took care of you more than any parent ever did. Yeah, I get it. You want revenge. I understand the revenge story. But I've seen this actor in every role she's played is the sort of ditzy, supporting girl next door type girl,
Mhm.
not a leadership woman. And so I don't see her that way, and I can't. From Castle Rock to I think she was even in fucking Coyote Ugly of all bullshit shows or films. Like she's just not done serious roles like this that I'm aware of, and I just did not believe her for a second. I just see her as like this Midwest mom that kind of cares about her kids, but not really. And she's just quiet and just suffers through her shitty drinking husband's tirades. Like that's in my head. That's that character.
Fair.
It's, I don't know. It's just the actor. And she did a good job. And it's not like she's a bad actress. She's not. It's just that she was typecast in my mind and the role suffered for it.
Mhm.
And that's, it's as simple as that. It's unfortunate too, because I did really enjoy the story arc that she had, especially
Definitely.
at the very, very end when we see the outcome of her end of her story.
Mhm.
So let's get back to that final set piece where we see the truck go down into the ground and everyone's standing around like idiots going, I wonder what did that?
Yeah, come on. Like, oh, fucking Christ.
Especially
Like,
her.
I'm sorry, but after a vehicle explodes, I'm just fucking right off out of there. I don't even give a shit if, like, oh, we're totally safe now. No, there was an explosion. There's still a fire. I'm fucking leaving. I'm done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it starts to sink in, yeah, that just people standing around like, ooh, what's going on? You
Let's see how
survived
this
the
plays
last
out.
20 fucking years and you don't know what's going to happen. Fuck you.
Yeah. And then they
Yeah.
just swarm out like World War Z. And I was just like, fuck. I was
That,
literally like screaming at the TV and stuff, telling
what
people to
I
move.
just love after all of them are out and you just hear that guttural.
Oh,
It's like,
God.
oh my God, they're going to show the bloater. And it's not even a surprise. We knew it was going to be in this episode. But it was still so like, oh my God, I can't wait. And
Dude,
then,
it ripped the dude's head off.
yeah.
Holy
So goddamn.
fuck. It just picks him up with one hand, just crushes him on the ground. I was like out of my seat, like, oh my gosh, where has this guy been? What the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so goddamn good.
So are there a bunch of those?
They're really rare because
Okay.
that's so a bloater essentially is an infected that has just been able to survive like
So that's
years and
the end
years and
result
years.
of all of them?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
shit.
that's the final form if they're able to progress because essentially it's the fungus taking over all of their body, like completely engulfing them. That's why they're just unloading clip after clip and it's not dropping because it's essentially wearing like layers of Kevlar.
Damn.
So yeah, they're like next to unstoppable.
Damn.
Yeah,
Can you kill him in the game?
well, I mean, yeah, if you're lucky.
Oh man. I can't wait to play this game.
Yeah, dude, they're tough as shit.
God, that was so
Even
badass.
so, I'll put it this way: even having the one shot, one kill thing on, it's still terrifying going up against one of those fuckers. And all you gotta do is shoot it once. You don't even have to like do a headshot or anything. You can just wing the fucker and it's gonna drop. Even then, it's still terrifying going up against them.
It's so exciting to me. Oh man. I love seeing it. Here's my problem with that whole set piece is that these creatures react to sound in a situation where there's tons of screaming, bullets flying, vehicles being turned over, explosions. How can they focus?
I mean, I just look at it like bats. I mean, that's how bats get around as echolocation. But I mean, there's bats that live next to the fucking Air Force base here. Like growing
That's
up,
true.
where I'm at, there was a shit ton of bats, shit ton of owls, stuff like that around. And it's like a lot of them go off of their hearing,
Yeah.
and even with all that noise and shit, they can still somehow manage. The only thing that I was a little kind of like, nah, I mean, that was cool, but weird was the little girl
Yeah,
clicker.
yeah,
Like, that's kind of out of the ordinary for how I see clickers. It's just like doing gymnastics through a fucking hole in
yeah,
the car window. Like, why? She wouldn't have hurt anything
yeah. It
necessarily. Because
felt very much like they were like, hey, let's showcase some really cool like body twisting like techniques and stuff. And it's like, yeah, but I, I just don't see the clickers like that. I see them single-minded going after something, not like, origami folding up and bending over and like Cirque du Soleil to someone.
yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, that's how they are.
Oh,
Like,
really?
they are just like statues for the most part.
Mm.
Like, they will move a little bit. If they have a routine of going like back and forth in an area, kind of patrolling it, they'll do that. But it's very just it's like they're going through the motions. They're not actually doing anything
Yeah.
until something triggers them, and then it's like hyper fixation on that, and then they attack.
Yeah, I did really like the whole Joel sniping, protecting Ellie. I thought that was great. Again, it did remind me of like Saving Private Ryan or something like that, but that's not a bad thing. I appreciate it. Some of the behavior of those clickers kind of got me a little weird, but the shock and awe of it made up for it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kathleen is like, just like ready to kill Henry finally, and Ellie's just like looking over at the creature, and she just sees her, and that immediately jumps out at her. It reminded me of like Alien or something.
Yeah, straight up.
Just
That
like,
was it.
ah!
She was a xenomorph.
It's awesome. I
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, fuck you. You lost your brother, so you should die too. like,
I mean,
there's
that's
no
fair.
good side to anything in this show, which is why I
Yeah.
love it so much. It's like, because she was just trying to avenge her brother's death. He was just trying to keep his brother alive. There's no right or wrong. There's no rules or moralisms to get out of the situation. It just is. And her argument's like, kids die every day. Yeah, that's true. So do brothers, bitch. Like,
Right?
how does that make you better? Like, I
It's
don't.
like he's a revolutionary leader. Like that's how a revolution ultimately can succeed is their leader dying. Like they got that martyr, and that's the light under their ass that gets them going.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little hypocritical, but then what are you going to do? They're fucking survivalists. They got to survive with whatever rationalization they can make out of the chaos of life. I believed. But then we got that beautiful scene of them at the hotel and just sort of relaxing after the insanity. And the kids, once again, instead of processing their trauma, they just go into kid mode to ignore it for a little bit. And I thought that was realistic. Like, you don't want to dwell on what just happened because you just saw some insane shit go down.
Yeah.
Like, how that's gonna fuck you up, unless you like just turn it off in your head and protect yourself, your psyche. It's literally PTSD. And so like Joel and Henry are out there sort of broing it up a little bit more. At this point, I'm thinking they're gonna part ways next episode. Like, they're gonna move through this episode, and it's just gonna, that one set piece was the dramatic inciting incident. That's the episode. I was like, it's not the best episode, but it's still good. But I care about Sam at this point. I love Sam at this point. And so when he does that little scratchboard writing back and forth about, are you scared? Is there still someone inside if you get turned? And then he shows his ankle. I was just like, oh, fuck, no, 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 why? No, you can't do this to me. And then the heartbreaking Ellie cutting herself thinking that would do it. And the whole time she's doing it, I'm just like, that's not how it works, sweetheart. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That was the part that got me because it's like I knew that it was Sam that got bit. Like I or at least I assumed he had got bit, and that's how they were going to check out. But the whole Ellie, and she knows that it's not going to work, but she's like, I have to do something to at least help this kid die in peace.
No.
Like, that was the heartbreaking thing for me.
Oh, that was so bad. Because you knew what was going to come, and it was just this calm before the storm and this heart-wrenching, touching moment between these two brand new friends, literally children, doing what children do. They think they know how to solve things, and they just don't understand. And then the next morning, he just straight up attacks her, throws her back into the front room, and Henry's just like, whoa, stop, stop, stop. And he's like pulling the gun out on Joel. And just out of a reaction, not even thinking about it, he's like, infected, pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then the realization floods over him, and we're just watching it. And Joel's like, give me the gun, give me the gun, give me the gun. In my head, I'm thinking Joel is like, he's going to shoot me or Ellie next. I have to get the gun away from him. Never once did I think Joel was thinking he's going to kill himself until it happened. But what else are you going to do? You lived your whole life for this brother. You've murdered people only for him, and now you're the one that killed him. What do you have left? It's so desperately sad on every single level. And then he just turns it on himself, and you don't even have to see him kill himself. You just see Ellie see him kill himself. Mm-hmm. And fuck me, that fucked me up.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is a kid that's seen some shit over the years. Like, she has a hardened face because she has been through some shit. And then to just get that one single tear drop down her face, man, it was rough.
I was just seeing like this behind her eyes, just lightning storm of emotion, and she was doing everything she could to keep it at bay, and the only proof of it was just that tear and shock on her face. I was just like, this girl is going to be fucked up her whole life. You can't come back from this.
Nope.
Oh, fuck, I just feel so sad for her. It makes me feel so bad as a human being that this is... And the thing is, like, yeah, this is a fantasy show, but this shit happens in real life now. Like, like travesty. People are bombed overseas for stupid fucking reasons, and children are just left standing and staring at the outcome of it. Like, this is what it means to be alive.
Yeah.
But it's so desperately fucking sad.
Right.
Ugh. Life is the worst. Man. It sucks. But that's why I love this show so much. It does not pull punches. It just straight up shows you, hey, this is what they have to do to get through this. And this is how they're dealing with it. And it's so beautiful. Ugh, fuck, it's sad. So is this different from the game, this little section here? Mm-hmm. How, like, what is the role of Henry and Sam in the game for you? Do you remember?
I don't know.
It was a while ago,
to be honest. I do remember that this whole interaction with the town militia and stuff, essentially they were just an obstacle, and you just had to get past them to get on to your next thing. So it was not super heavy as far as the story is concerned. It was just sort of like a A to B to C type of thing. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing that I'm loving about this so much is they're sticking with the idea of the game, but just taking it in places that they couldn't with the video game. Because I mean, this isn't interactive. This is a completely passive experience. So they have to essentially navigate where we're going and what we're seeing, and taking liberties with it that they are just like, hey, this would be a great way to tell the story. Let's do this instead this time. Yeah. And yeah, I love it.
Watching the behind the scene thing where the young boy is talking about how, I can't remember his exact phrasing or anything, but just how he's deaf, and that just meant a lot to him to be playing a deaf person, and then he had the other deaf person next to him, sort of, I guess he was like an acting coach or something like that.
No, he's the director.
Oh, okay. Wait, what? That wasn't the director?
He was the ASL director.
Oh, ASL director.
Yeah, because
right. Okay.
How the fuck is a deaf kid gonna understand some dude yelling behind Video Village?
Right. So I'm watching this. We have similar sort of sensibilities when it comes to sort of social progressivism. I'm watching it thinking, this is a beautiful moment of representation. Like, it's not groundbreaking. Deaf people have acted in the world before. It's not a big, crazy thing, but it's nice that this kid had this opportunity and that they got to showcase it. Mm-hmm. And knowing what we're like as a culture, I just know motherfuckers that complain that this is like some woke fucking thing.
Yeah, because he's black and because he's deaf. Ugh. And it's like, God, you were so stupid. Like, find a good reason to hate somebody. A good fucking reason. Why is that so damn difficult?
He acted exactly like I thought someone of his age should act. He did his job 100%. It had nothing to do with the color of his skin. It had nothing to do with whether he could hear or not. He just came up, showed up, did his job, went home. And I thought he did a brilliant fucking job. And I
Absolutely.
don't think he was chosen because he was deaf and black. You could have someone who could hear and just learn American Sign Language and just do it. But that's not the point. The point is they had someone that fit the bill that could bring the chops, and they fucking knocked it out of the park. That doesn't make it a fucking woke statement. And just the idea of woke being a bad thing, it's just understanding other fucking people.
Yeah, that's the shit that gets me. It's like, oh, well, you're woke if you do anything else. It's like, no, it's called being a part of a fucking society.
Yeah.
Not everybody looks the same. Not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody talks the same. The fuck is wrong with that? Especially, like, and I hate Americans in particular that are anti-woke. This country was literally founded on the ideas of it being a melting pot of societies.
Yeah.
Like, look at fucking Lady Liberty's feet. Like, that's a symbol of this great country, is this French statue that we got. Like, why can't we hold to those ideals of, you know, bring me, you're hungry, you're homeless, you're whatever the fuck. I don't fucking know, because I don't give a shit about that stuff. But still, it's like, that's the American idea. Why can't we have that? Why can't we all just be like cool with shit? Like, what's the problem with, oh, I'm sorry, are they going to make you start eating something spicier than ketchup?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? I don't understand. What
is there something spicy than ketchup?
Oh, man. We have such sights to show you.
Yeah, I mean, just like literally the definition of woke is aware of and actively attentive to important social facts and issues. Especially issues of racial and social justice. How is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
Like being aware that other people exist and have other requirements or needs, or maybe their life experience is different than yours. That's a bad thing, just being aware of it?
Yeah, very.
Like,
Very.
what are you, a fucking ostrich? Stick your head in the ground then. What the fuck? You share the planet, you realize, people. Like, you're not the only one here. This is not some a fucking, I don't even know, a clone army of human beings that just exist on a ball flying through space. No, we're all different. Informed by a myriad of factors. Of course, it's important for people who are different to have visual representations of their difference. That's not a bad thing. And it's not even a hit at you, whoever's complaining about it. Because you've had all of film and TV series history to have celebrated people that look like you. Now it's someone else's turn. And it's not like it's either or. You still are being represented. So just because someone else is being represented, that's a bad thing? What, you need all the toys? You're going to take all the balloons and go home? Fuck off.
Yeah.
So stupid. Like, feel however you want. I don't care. Hate whoever you want to hate for whatever fucking reason you want to hate them. I give a fuck. Just don't let it bother me. But you can't complain about something that you have no control over, you have no say in, and it's not actively attacking you as a person. Fucking move on, bitches. What the fuck? It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
And I complain about Star Wars from time to time because I'm a Star Wars geek. And instead of only harping on the bad things, I return to stuff that I love. There's EU stuff that I really, really love that I go back to and I reread and revisit because that's what I like. And so rather than just complain and moan and bitch and argue and shake my fist and hold my breath and stomp my feet, I move on. That's what everyone should be doing. I mean, I still do all that. Don't get me wrong.
But you do something other than that. And that's the biggest thing.
Oh, man. I love this show so much. I can't even express how much joy it brings me. I mean, first of all, the cathartic side of it. Just having a show that can devastate you, whether there's violence or not. It just emotionally hit you hard.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing.
Right. Like, still, like, episode 3, that...
Dude.
Like, and I've seen so many people like, oh, it was just a filler episode. Fuck you. It was not a filler episode. Even if it was a filler episode, that had more heart than so many things I've watched. And it's just so beautiful.
I thought it gave a beautiful setup to this episode because it gave us a glimpse at the actual concern that humans have for each other. It's
Mhm.
not all violence and attacking each other. Sometimes people do make connections. That pays off Joel and Ellie, that pays
Yeah.
off Henry and Sam, and that
Mhm.
pays off Kathleen and her brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being able to contextualize those different relationships, it forces you to understand that everyone has different experiences. And I guess that is woke in and of itself. So maybe that's
true.
why the show is horrible.
That's true. We get it now.
Fucking people suck. All right. I don't know. Anything else you wanted to cover this episode?
No, I think that's pretty well.
What was your favorite part of it, by the way?
Oh man, so the child in me wants to say the bloater, because that was just like I did. My nipples almost cut through my shirt with excitement. That was just great. Finally seeing that fucking thing, the zombies coming out of the hole, just that whole scene was just beautiful. But it's a toss up between that and the moments that Sam and Ellie had where they could just be kids. Like when they're sitting there discussing the comics, like that's fucking awesome that in this dystopian future, there's kids out there that are still, they're having the same experiences that I had as a child. And I didn't have to deal with the shit they did. And that's just, it's beautiful to me that that could still exist even in such dire circumstances.
Yeah, my favorite and least favorite is the same. It's that end scene of her trying to heal him, and then the outcome of it, of him being capped by his brother, and then his brother topping himself. Like, devastating. All around, that whole last 10 minutes was just painful. And then that final scene when they dug their grave and she left the fucking little thing saying, "I'm sorry." Oh my gosh. And that was so beautiful.
That was rough, because I totally didn't see it playing like that. I thought she was going to write his fucking name and then mark it like a marker. And then to see that, it's like, that's what devastated me. Almost more than him dying. Because I kind of figured from the get-go, oh, these motherfuckers are going to die. And we're going to see it happen. So the death wasn't what shocked me and what shook me. It was that.
Yeah. Ugh. Just fucking heartbreaking. Did you have a least favorite aspect?
I mean, that, just because it made me feel things, and I shouldn't.
I try not to.
I try not to. Yeah, no, it was beautiful. It was expected, and it was pretty devastating. So I loved it and hated it.
What are you looking forward to in the next episode? Do you feel like you know what's coming?
No, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Because ultimately, damn it, never mind.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, that's the beautiful thing. I don't fucking know. And that's so exciting to me, because ultimately what kind of seems like is going to happen is something that's in the second game.
Oh, really?
So this is like, they're changing the story arc.
Oh, do you think they blended the stories together in this?
No.
Okay.
No. No. But yeah, I'm just really excited to see where it goes, because this doesn't look like, and again, it's years removed since I played the game last, but I don't remember anything like this in the first game. So I'm just super stoked to see what happens.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more heart-wrenching moments, making me feel like a human again. I like that.
It's the only thing to make this face cool.
It's the pain that keeps me going. That's it. It fills the huge void within. All right. Is there anything else?
Nope. We got it.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And as always, remember, the evil spelled backwards is live. So get out there and be evil.
And kill some bloaters.
Yeah, fuck them up. Or run. I would run.
I'd try to take one out, because I figure I'm probably going to get taken out anyways. So whatever. Might as well try to make it cool.
Yeah, good.